Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Concordia University, Texas 2021 Honors Convocation. Certainly wish that we could all gather in person, but we're so delighted that you were able to join us in this virtual space. To kick us off with a word of welcome, I'd like to introduce to you Concordia University, Texas's president, Dr. Don Christian.
Hey, everybody. I am so glad to be with you all tonight. And let me just say how absolutely and incredibly proud I am of you all. You all are being recognized tonight for your commitment to excellence. And that's something we take really seriously here at Concordia University, Texas. You have had an impact on the culture, the ethos of Concordia by what you do, by how you've been, by your engagement in lots of different ways. And again, that commitment to excellence. You've made this place a much better place because of what you do here. Tonight, you're going to hear all kinds of accolades for individuals, for groups. But when you as an individual student hear that accolade, I want you to remember a couple things. First of all, I want you to be proud. You deserve this. There's nothing to say that you should take away from that and say, well, I don't. You actually deserve these recognitions, awards, and honors. And I want you to be humble because none of you got here by yourself. One of the lines I like to use when I talk about my presidency is that I stand on the shoulders of giants, people who have come before me. And as those who have come before you have supported you, have encouraged you, whether it be family, friends, other faculty, lots of people in your lives who have gotten you to this place in time where you are recognized for your achievements. That ability to be proud and to be humble is something which you should take into the world. There's very few people who actually can think like that, work like that, and behave like that. And so that is part of how we hopefully have spent the last few years shaping you, forming you to be people who enter the world, who think critically, who act compassionately, and who lead courageously. So tonight, you are rewarded. Take it with all it's worth. And tomorrow, you get to go and serve. So keep that going. And as Dr. Utsinger said, we really wish we could be there with you in person and shake your hand and see your family and rejoice with you. And this is the best it can be right now. And we're going to make a great night out of it. I will not be able to stay with you a long time because I've got another event I have to attend. But I'm looking forward to recognizing this. And I can't wait to see many of you at commencement and the rest of you next year. God's blessings. Have a fantastic evening.
Thank you, President Christian. Christy Kirk was not able to join us this evening, and I also realized I didn't introduce myself. I'm Jeffrey Utsinger. I'm the Dean of Teaching and Learning here at Concordia, and I would like to start us with a prayer. So if you would, please pray with me. Dear Heavenly and gracious Father, in the midst of a pandemic, in the midst of racial unrest and injustice, in the midst of a mental health crisis, in the midst of all the things that steal the joy from our life, make living more difficult, we also remember in this Easter season that you are a living God. You are a God of hope. You are a God of restoration. And you call us to be a people of joy. And we ask that you would continue to lift all of these young women and men up as they continue to seek out their vocations, live out their callings in the world, and be with us this evening as we celebrate together. All these things we ask in the holy name of Jesus. Amen. Next up, we have a special video presentation. It is by Dr. Mary Kay Johnston, who is an associate professor of biology and environmental science, also the recipient of the 2019-2020 Faculty Scholarship Award. And she has pre-recorded a video message for us. And so someone other than me is going to get that started.
Hello, I'm Dr. Mary Kay Johnston in biology and environmental science. And the first thing that I would like to say to you is congratulations. You have done an amazing, an outstanding, and excellent job in the face of everything that 2020 and 2021 has thrown at us. We faced innumerable challenges, from personal challenges to academic challenges with the transition to high flex, and even weather challenges with the snowpocalypse this past term. So truly, congratulations to everybody that is receiving an award or a scholarship. You've outdone yourself, and you have done excellently. And as we sit here this evening, lauding all of our awardees, I would like to offer a piece of advice moving forward. I'd like us to think a little bit about the future, and I'd like to encourage each and every one of us to stay inspired, even in the face of tough times, even in the face of sadness and disruption. We can still stay inspired, and we can look for inspiration in hidden places. And that will be the subject of my talk today. Staying inspired by the little things. So, Concordia, we've got a lot. Here, this photograph was taken from the walkway between C and D. It's a beautiful place to be during sunrise. I love watching the sunrise from this deck. You see beautiful colors, you see stars, you see planets. There's a moon up in the corner, and there's all those trees from down in the preserve. If you were there that day, you would also hear bird song, chirp, 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 all around you. But I want to point your attention to some of the smaller things as well. Sometimes our appreciation of creation and this boundless beauty isn't restricted to just the big, huge, magnificent, glorious aspects. It's also down in the small and tiny things. And the Lord has some things to say about that. He says, I will give you hidden treasures, riches stored in secret places, so that you may know that I am Lord. So creation is there for us, and it's there to sustain us and to inspire us. Let me tell you a little bit about some of my favorite organisms. Unsurprisingly, they're some of the smaller organisms. We're talking about inspiration in the small things. Mosses are small, low-growing plants. They never get very tall, and they exist as just a little turf on rocks, on branches, on soil. They tend to be one of the first pioneer species into an area after a disturbance. That is to say, something like a fire, something like a flood, something like a landslide. They're the first. And that's because mosses can take rock and break it down into their constituent components, forming soil that other organisms, taller organisms, can use to grow up. So they're the first, these small, low-growing things. Here we see some moss on a log next to a pathway. These mosses are helping to break down that tree. They're helping to convert some of the rocks in the area to living things. This picture right here was taken from Weimar, Germany, in a place called Buchenwald. Those of you that have taken history in the 20th century probably know what this place was 75 years ago. It was a concentration camp. It was a place of sadness. It was a place of death. It was a place of disease and genocide and injustice. It was a place that holds the scars of what us humans can do to each other. The forest today is different. It's quiet, it's serene, and there's green everywhere. You look around at the rubble of some of the buildings, and what do you see? They're covered with mosses. I think there's a metaphor here that even in the face of human destruction, of death, of the things that we can do to each other, we can always look forward to the day when life returns. Life always finds a way to heal with time, and it can start small and grow to a beautiful forest. Let me show you another picture. Here we have a picture from the beaches of France. This is from northern France. It's serene. There's the surf coming in. There's brown sand. There's algae there. There's life there. This picture was taken in Normandy. And if you remember from your history, 76 years ago, this place was not serene. It was the place where Allied troops were coming up the beachhead. Allied troops who were spilling their blood into the sand, who were spilling their sweat, their tears, bodies lied in the sand. This was a place of war. It was a place of death. And now what do we see? There's green. Life returns. We can be inspired by the idea that even if we're going through hard times, even if we're surrounded by death, even if we're surrounded by destruction, even if we're surrounded by the worst that humans have, there's life. And God is there. God is there giving life and rejuvenating. This place here is in Berlin. In Berlin, we have a Holocaust Memorial that's constructed out of large concrete blocks. The blocks start at street level at about 2 foot high. And as you move into the interior of the memorial, the blocks get taller and taller and taller and taller. So they may start at waist height, but when you get into the center, the blocks are towering about 12 foot high. In the interior of the space, it's quiet. All of the sounds of the city are dampened. All you see are the shadows and the angles of the blocks. Everything is monochromatic. Everything is stark. You can get lost in the maze of these blocks. It's a wonderful place for contemplation, but it's also a place of sadness and isolation. Until you look at your feet. And what do you see when you look at your feet but life? Life that is taking those bricks that were laid down in sadness, and even breaking them down into new soil, which will one day sustain new plants. Life returns. Life takes our sadness and grows from it, converts it to something new with time. So these mosses are a really wonderful metaphor for quite a few things. And I'd love to share with you a poem which I think expresses this idea quite well. It's called The Moss Method by Rogers. It says, most lie low, flourishing with damp, harvesting sunlight, no commotion, moss mouse silent, even through wind and hail, stoic through motors' roaring fumes, through fat-clawed bears grubbing. They can soothe the knife edges of stones with frothy leaf by leaf of gray-green life, and burn ground mosses cover destruction, charred stumps, trees felled and blackened. Cosmopolitan mosses likewise salve sidewalk cracks, crumbling walls. They root in thin alpine air, on sedentary sand dunes, cling to cliff seeps beneath spilling springs. For rest, they make mats on streamside banks. For pleasure, produce silky tufts, wavy brooms of themselves in woodlands for beauty. Red roof moss for whim, elf cap, hair cap, sphagnum for nurturing. No fossil record of note, no bone history, so lenient they possess only those memories remembered. I believe they could comfort the world with their ministries. That is my hope. Even though this world be a jagged rock, even though this rock be an icy berg of blue or a mirage of summer misunderstood, moss balm for misunderstanding. Even though this world be blind and awry and adrift, scattering souls like spores through the deep of a starlit sea. So I encourage you, find inspiration, even in the small things that are ever present. God has hidden this for us. Receive that gift. Whether you're in Paris or whether you're next to the pyramids of Tikal, the moss are there, turning, changing, bringing life. So stay inspired. And again, congratulations to everybody. You've done a fantastic job with everything this year. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Johnston. That was beautiful. Really appreciate that. And now, if you have practiced discipline and you have not opened your box yet, it's the moment that you've all been waiting for. To help us do that, I'd like to introduce my friend and colleague, Dr. Casey Poshbushel, the Vice President of Academic Operations.
Good evening, everyone. I've been watching my TikTok videos of box unveiling to prepare for this moment. So hopefully you have your box, and it's not going to come up very well. You know what? I'm going to have to turn off the back of my filter here because otherwise you won't be able to see my box. Okay. All right. So go ahead and open up your boxes. Probably what I think is one of the most important things is the program. And the reason I think this is important is because it's something that you want to share with your friends and your family as a keepsake to the amazing work that you did while you were here. And then the second most important thing, I think, are these cookies. They're very good. You should all have a cookie in your box. And then you should have 2 gifts. And they may be a combination of any of these gifts, but take these gifts as an appreciation of your work and your hard efforts that you've put into your accomplishments. So we have a waterproof wireless speaker. There's a very nice mug, a USB drive, and a set of pins. So you'll have a combination of 2 of these gifts in your box. And thank you so much for all that you've done towards your educational goals here at Concordia.
Thank you, Casey. I mentioned that Casey was a friend and a colleague, and she is also my co-host for this evening's ceremonies. So you'll be hearing a lot from both of us. So what Casey and I are going to do is we're going to introduce faculty as we go along so that they can then announce the recipient of the awards that they are giving. And so I mentioned that the opening of the boxes was the moment you were all waiting for, and there's some really cool stuff in there. And I would suspect that what many of you are waiting for is to hear your name, see your name in lights. So let's get started with the student awards portion of our program. To kick us off, Dr. Kelly Gordon, our professor of theater and director of the School of Fine Arts, is going to give 2 Achievement in Theater awards. So Dr. Gordon, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. I'm unmuting myself. Okay. So theater is a field that teaches us to think outside the box and on our toes. And nonetheless, a pandemic is a challenging time in which to produce live theater. So this fall, CTX Theater put together a company of about 20 intrepid students for a series of theater workshops with the goal of figuring out what sort of theater production we wanted to produce under COVID restrictions. The result was the most student-driven project that we've created in the past 10 years. Chosen and produced almost entirely by students with help from myself and our amazing sound engineer, Smokey Westerfeld. The performance, entitled Murderween, an evening of spooky vintage radio plays, is now playing on the CTX Theater YouTube channel, created by the same students that I'm about to mention. Early on in the project, 2 brave students organically took on leadership roles, collaborating together to help make key production decisions like which scripts to use, how to create sound effects, and what to do with the radio plays once we recorded them. This semester, our Achievement and Theater Performance Award goes to Nathan Lazenberry. Nathan took on the role of music director, creating and performing original music that was perfect for each radio play not to mention the Lipton soup commercials, which if you haven't heard them, you need to. Working closely with Nathan was the winner of our Achievement in Theater Tech Award, Maddie Silvestro, who not only created sound effects, but also designed the poster and set up our YouTube channel, came up with the name for the evening, played the role of a fierce New York police detective, and perhaps most importantly, figured out how to put our recordings into the proper format to put them online. So congratulations, Nathan and Maddie, and thank you for being integral to the success of Murderween.
I don't know if I'm allowed to unmute here. Am I? Okay, I'm doing it anyway. If you want to take a look at the back here, right behind me, got the Murderween poster on my wall. It's one of my greatest achievements in college, and I just want to thank Dr. Gordon for allowing us to create something so personal to us and something that was very hands-on, and it was extremely challenging, very challenging, but it was one of the most fun experiences I've had in theater, so it's more than an honor to be a part of it.
Thank you so much, Maddie. Our next award will be for the Outstanding Science Students, presented by Dr. Michael McGuire and Dr. Mary Kay Johnston.
Hi. As scientists, it's really important for us to keep those lines of communications with the students open, and we'll take communication at any level. I'm having a hard time with my homework. There's an exam this week. And then every now and then, a student comes along and is completely out of left field. Alden Suttle said to me about a year ago, "Have you ever seen metallic bismuth? Because my mom bought me some for Christmas." Now, there it is. Zoom has allowed me to show it on camera. That's what bismuth looks like, and it is spectacular. It is spectacular. But this was the first hint that my conversations with Alden were going to be on a different level. And as I got to know her, I started seeing her everywhere on campus. She's out clearing up after the ice storm. She's planting milkweeds for the butterflies. She's taking parents during Concordia crossing down into the preserve for nature tours. It was on one of those tours that she said to me, "Come and look at this orange slime I found." And it was this spectacular iron oxidizing bacteria that we're going to do a research project on later on. But it's those things. It's the curiosity. It's the hyper observational skills that she's got. Last term, she did a senior research project, and she wrote a procedure for testing water quality that our colleague, Dr. Whitehead, told me that her written work was of a superior quality than he had previously paid an outside professional consultant for. So that just gives you a level. She's not only a spectacular student, she's great at everything that we throw at her, but she shows through that stewardship that she's just so incredibly caring and curious and joyful and incredibly deserving of the award of Science Student of the Year. Congratulations to Alden Suttle. There you go.
Hi, that was extremely sweet. I'm going to keep this brief because there's a lot of students who deserve their appreciation tonight too. But I remember in 5th grade, everybody in the whole classroom was asked to draw a picture of a scientist that we were all going to use and have as the cover of our notebook for the rest of the year. And I remember I sat down, box of crayons, everybody got one, and I started to draw my scientist, and I looked around at my classmates and it was a lot different than theirs. Mine was a blonde-haired girl with blue eyes. Everybody else was some, Einstein-looking crazy old man. But I mean, it does sound like I'm describing that I drew myself, but I actually was drawing my mom. And I have been fortunate and blessed enough to have role models and people in my life. Like, my mom is a scientist. She encourages my curiosities. I was blessed enough to have that opportunity and to constantly be encouraged to explore and grow. And then I got to Concordia, and I feel like not only am I growing here, I'm blooming. And the reason that I got this award and the reason that this is really happening is because of great professors like Dr. McGuire and Dr. Johnston, and people who kept pushing me and encouraging me and letting me be curious and even maybe annoying at times. So thank you, and thank you for this opportunity, and thanks to my family and my boss, Zach Stark. Thank you.
Alden, you're amazing. You're absolutely amazing.
And Mary Kay, you will now present the next science student, and we want to give big accolades to all of our students, and we have several to get through tonight. So we will spotlight our students, but keep moving forward with each of the faculty presenting.
All right, so this year we had 2 awardees for Science Student of the Year because we had so many excellent students at Concordia. It's a really, really amazing time, even with this high flex situation. So I want to highlight Sam Hopper. She's a biology major. She's done amazing work with her research project, as well as extracurricularly. She's involved in sports, and she is an excellent student. So I'm really proud to acknowledge Sam Hopper as our other Science Student of the Year.
Thank you so much, Mary Kay.
Next up, we have the Kinesiology Students of the Year, and I'd like to introduce Dr. Tom Pate, our Professor of Kinesiology.
Thanks, Jeff. I really appreciate it. It's my pleasure to announce the winners of this year's awards. First of all, the female Kinesiology Student of the Year is Keely Etchison. She's unable to be with us tonight. And the male Kinesiology Student of the Year is Rogelio Pena. If you've ever had Rogelio in class, you probably know how I feel when you walk into a classroom and you see his bright-eyed, smiling face staring at you. And the other thing that jumps out at you about Rogelio is the fact that he takes academics very seriously. He is eager, very eager to learn all he can. And for all my fellow professors, you know what a great feeling that is to have a student that embraces the fact that he's trying to learn everything he can about a particular discipline. He also represents the ideal student athlete. He's a tennis player, quite accomplished tennis player, and he balances that ability to have enough time for the athletic performance and to take care of all these academic matters, to the extent that he's almost perfect. Academic achievement is high, grade point average borders on perfection. And I just can't say enough about this young man and his efforts in the area of academics. And the kinesiology is a study of human movement, and he has, I'm sure, a great interest in the discipline, and that comes through loud and clear when he's in the classroom and when he's also performing on the tennis courts. And I'd just like to say it's been my pleasure to be a teacher of this young man, Rogelio Pena. Thank you so much for being my student.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pate. All right, our next award is the Outstanding Mathematics Student who could not be here tonight, and that student is Megan Brokis. So thank you so much, Megan, for your work. And then our next award is the Communication Student of the Year, and Dr. Eric Green is here to present that award.
Communication as a discipline is so complex and so interdisciplinary. We have so many successful students in this program, and it's hard to identify one that rises to the top. But that is Grace Nemich. If you were to define her, she would balance creativity and critical thinking, numbers in narrative, data and dialogue, theology and trusted thinking, music and mastery, robots and romance, and just overall enthusiasm in education. Just a couple of the other faculty members wanted to say, Grace, you bring your course learning to real world problems in a way that makes we professors love what we do. And another, your enthusiasm about everything is infectious, as evidenced by your many academic interests. Dr. Feaster said you've got the most complex degree plan that she has ever put together. You are a participator of life. If there was such thing as a Renaissance woman, you are it, Grace. So congratulations on being our communication student of the year.
I guess I'll say something. I just thank you so much. I'm gonna kind of piggyback on the idea of faculty. It would not be possible without any of you. Feaster's definitely put through all my degree works, and Dr. Green has put through all my talks about everything. And Professor Weisgerber, I'm actually doing an independent study with her. So they've definitely been there for me, and I just want to thank them because it's from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Congratulations, Grace, and thank you, Dr. Green. Our next award is the Deborah Allen Award for Outstanding History Student, and to present that award is Dr. Matt Bloom, our Professor of History.
Thank you. The Deborah Allen Award in History recognizes outstanding achievement in history. Normally it goes to a graduating senior, but through a quirk of scheduling, we don't have any graduating seniors in history. The award is named for longtime Concordia history faculty member, Deborah Allen, who passed away in January of 2016. A scholar of diplomatic history, the Civil War, and U.S.-Poland relations, Dr. Allen was passionate in her devotion to teaching students and exemplified and expected high standards of doing history. History is more than just past events. It is also the account of those past events. This year's recipients have demonstrated excellence in research and writing, as well as service to students in a variety of history courses. This year's recipients are history majors Alina Bernal and Mackenzie Vance, and education majors who love history and take multiple history classes, Jack Leiker and Daniel Bologna. Alina and Mackenzie have both served as course-embedded peer tutors, or what people at bigger schools call teaching assistants, for a variety of world and U.S. history courses while working on their senior thesis research, which they will complete in the fall semester. Both are planning to attend graduate school after graduation in the UK if the UK will let them in due to pandemic issues. Jack is preparing for a teaching career in language arts and social studies. So there is a definite overlap with language arts and social studies. All the recipients this year are astute writers, delightful to have in class discussions, keep me on track, and passionate about the study of history. And Daniel couldn't be with us tonight. He's also planning to teach, but the little kids. And Dr. Allen would definitely have enjoyed teaching and mentoring all of the recipients of the award this year.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bloom. Congratulations. Our next award, the Distinguished Student in Political Science, will be presented by Dr. Brent Burgess.
Hi there. So tonight I'd like to really recognize two wonderful young men as the distinguished students in political science. And so this is the first time we've given an award to two students, not just one. And I remember when these two young men first came to campus 4 years ago, and they were impressive when they came to campus then, and they've become even more impressive still in the time that they've been here. And so since 4 years ago, both of these young men have become leaders on campus, and not just, kind of leaders. I mean, just outstanding leaders on campus. And it's been so rewarding to watch them grow up, develop, and just really serve in roles to serve others and to lead. They're both smart, they're both courageous, they're both very duty bound individuals, and I'm really, really going to miss having them around on campus, and I'm really, really going to miss having them in the classroom. And so, but both of these young men are going places, and I think we're going to see great things from both of them. So this year's recipient of Distinguished Student in Political Science is Brandon Burrows and Sean Mathagis. So thank you.
Congratulations to both of you. And thank you, Dr. Burgess. Our next recipient of the DCE Student of the Year Award was unable to attend this evening, but we want to say congratulations to Savannah Simmons. Our next award, the Nursing Graduate of the Year, will be presented by Dr. Amber Shamus, our Senior Director of the College of Health and Sciences.
So as everyone knows, it's been a very challenging year, even more than a year, for healthcare, particularly for nurses and also our nursing students. They've weathered a lot of challenges and adapted to a lot of changes. And it is my honor to present the Nursing Graduate of the Year Award to David Lane Williams. Lane has an outstanding record of academic achievement throughout the nursing program. He's a student that has always been participatory in all of our nursing town hall meetings, in classes, is always open to sharing his feedback with students and faculty. He serves as a student peer tutor and helps support his fellow students through their coursework as well. He has served the community, giving COVID vaccines in conjunction with some of our healthcare partners. And when he did go and volunteer at a clinic, actually was able to vaccinate his grandparents. And it was a story that was picked up by the local news networks. And Lane graciously agreed to do an interview and honored Concordia and our nursing program. So Lane, congratulations on all of your achievements. It's an honor to be part of your nursing journey.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shamus, and congratulations, Lane. Our next presenter will be Dr. Glendine Lamard Marlowe. Sorry, Dr. Marlowe. She's going to be presenting 2 awards, the Global Public Health Student of the Year and the Global Healthcare and Management Student of the Year.
Thank you, Casey. All right. So when we think about public health, we think about servant leadership, the desire to care for people and wanting to make a difference in the world. And typically these students long to have a positive impact on the lives of our fellow human beings. Excuse me. The Undergraduate Global Health Student Award goes to a student who embodies the core competencies and principles of global health, who understands the burden of disease, the vulnerability of populations whose voices are silenced to no cause of their own. It goes to an individual who recognizes the value of universal human rights, no matter your place of birth or your disability, who greatly understands that everyone deserves to lead a long life and a healthy life, and that there is a charge to improve the lives of others in your own backyard and in the world, especially if you're able to do it through the little butterfly effect. So this year's Undergraduate Global Public Health Student of the Year is Tyler Barton. Tyler is not here today, but he's a young man who is very shy, yet he rose to the occasion during this past year amidst the chaos of COVID-19 and everything else that was going on. And he really helped to bring valuable news to the CTX community, our friends, stakeholders, Austin, and Texas community at large. So Tyler hopes to work as a public health lab scientist, working to screen newborn babies. And another fun fact about him is that he illustrates children's books, which in my heart embodies the artist, and the scientist of public health. So congratulations, Tyler. This is really well deserved. And my next awardee is the Global Healthcare Management Student of the Year. And this this is an undergraduate student who is pursuing a business administration degree, but also believes that in every action there is value to improving the lives of others. And this has been her charge. And I'm so pleased and honored to give this award to Miss Alejandra Reda, who is with us here tonight. And I first met Alejandra when she approached me asking for an opportunity to volunteer her services in a space where she could make a difference because she had the time. And I remember thinking, you have the time? How do you have the time? But she said she did. And in over 20 years of my teaching in higher education, I've met only on one hand, to be very honest, the number of students who've approached me and said that I want to go and help others without any sort of compensation for doing it. I just want to help. So she volunteered for the Seroptimus International of Austin. This is a global volunteer movement. And the ladies there just absolutely loved her. They advocate for girls and women's rights across the entire world. And they use the term for her. They say that she is a rock star. And I really couldn't agree more. Not only has Alejandra served in that role, she was also the Michael and Susan Dell Center Fellow for Healthy Living as the undergraduate scholar. And here at Concordia, she's worked doing a lot of different activities on the student halls, and she's just tireless. And she epitomizes leadership, professionalism, and in her own words, she told me, I have a strong passion towards global public health in which I believe I'm able to make a change in someone's life and showing others the right way to go about when dealing with their health. Being able to not only improve others' health, but build a foundation and community along the way that supports one another. So truly from the bottom of my heart, I can't help but say, Alejandra, you are a rock star, you rock, keep it up, you're going places, and congratulations on being the Global Healthcare Management Student of the Year.
Thank you so much, Dr. Glendine, and congratulations. It takes a rock star to teach a rock star. Our next award is the Undergraduate Business Student of the Year, and that will be presented by Professor Angela Clemens, Instructor of Management and Human Resources.
Thank you. I am honored to be able to present this evening the very first Undergraduate Business Student of the Year award. The College of Business and Communication awards numerous students every year for their focus on scholarship, but this award is intended to be much more well-rounded and one that is selected by the College of Business professors. The recipient is a person that serves as an ambassador to our program and one that represents the best of our Concordia University, Texas undergraduate business program. This year's chosen recipient is Miss Karen Dixon. I've had the privilege of having Karen in multiple courses. Her passion for her family, her church, her vocation, and her education is evident in all that she does. Even during the toughest of times, Karen's positivity shines through, and she can find the small blessings in any situation. Karen, congratulations on completing your dream of graduating this semester, and congratulations on this award. You're going to be recognized as the first name to appear on a plaque that will be displayed here at Concordia University, Texas. So please help me congratulate Karen. You are so well deserved and you are such a blessing to Concordia. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our next award will be presented by Dr. Elise Brazier, and the award is for the MBA Student of the Year.
Thank you, Casey. During the past year, it's been particularly hard on businesses, including nonprofits. The MBA Student of the Year award recognizes an individual who has demonstrated what it means to give back to their community, has made sacrifices, volunteers endless hours, and who also leads with a servant heart. This year's recipient goes to Mr. Brandon Crook, who has selflessly shown a remarkable passion for helping military veterans through his good work, with the nonprofit organization Heroes Night Out. This organization, and with the good work of Brandon and his team, helps make veterans' lives a little bit better and with purpose. Brandon, congratulations, and thank you for your service to our country and our veterans.
Thank you so much, and congratulations. Our next award is the 2020-2021 Service Learning Leaders, and that will be presented by Dr. Ann Schwartz, Professor of Sociology.
Thank you. This year, it has been my privilege to work with a wonderful group of student leaders that make up the Service Learning Leadership Team. And they've been inspiring our campus community to be neighbors serving neighbors in the midst of a pandemic, which has not been easy, but they've been creative, flexible, and have been dedicated to their call to service. Together, we found ways to do virtual service, like with the Brookdale Read to a Resident program that Victoria created, or the virtual dance party with students at the Arc of Capital area that Chrislyn helped lead. Jessica and Rachel kept the CTX food pantry running as we shifted from a walk-in center to a food order system, and were able to serve even more CTX students. Robin led an in-person but outdoor opportunity with Reveal Resource Center, working closely with them on safety protocols. And Jessica helped us continue our stewardship service events on campus, including a major campus cleanup day after the winter storms. And thanks to Rachel, Chrislyn, and Delina, we continued our fundraising with Water to Thrive, resulting in our completion of funding for a 14th well that will be built in East Africa. We also hosted virtual webinars with community leaders to highlight justice-focused service learning. Thank you, Delina, for planning and leading such thought-provoking conversations. So I'm very proud of this year's team who rose to the moment and made a real difference. We missed serving with those that we would usually serve with, but we can't wait to reconnect with our neighbors through in-person service next year. I'd like to recognize this year's outstanding team: Jessica Gonzalez, Victoria Leffers, Robin Montoya, Rachel Shalane, Chrislyn Schlosser, and Delina Yosef.
Thank you, Anne. You can go ahead and do your next Leaders with Impact designation.
Okay, thanks. This year, Victoria and Robin continued oversight of a special program within the service learning program called Leaders with Impact. And since Robin is also being recognized this year with that program, I invite Victoria to share a little bit about it and to recognize our honorees.
So Leaders with Impact, it's an honor society that recognizes student leaders who serve 20 or more hours for a minimum of at least 2 semesters during their duration at Concordia University. And they do this with our service learning program. So all of the service that they do is typically through organizations that are already our service partners with the service learning program. The purpose of this society is just to give students who are really passionate about service a place not only to serve, but a chance to grow and build community with other like-minded individuals. We're so happy and pleased to honor 2 individuals who are a part of our Leaders with Impact at Concordia. And at graduation, they're going to be recognized by wearing a very special stole that is yellow in color and has the Leaders Impact logo on it. So we are so happy to congratulate Robin Montoya and Rebecca Schleen for all the hard work and service they have put in over their time at Concordia. They will definitely be missed as they are graduating, but we are so happy to have had them.
Thank you so much, Victoria, and congratulations. Our next award is the Peer Leader Award, and that will be presented by Dr. Prairie Burgess.
Hi. So the Peer Leader of the Year Award is new this year, and we will have a plaque that will have each names posted throughout the years that will hang as a continual reminder of the strong student leadership and dedication that our students have to welcoming our incoming freshmen every year. This award was voted on by their fellow peer leaders to recognize exceptional leadership within their team. The award recipients demonstrated caring, compassion, and motivation within their life and leadership courses. They worked they worked in collaboration with their paired instructor and within their peer leader team. They supported and inspired me as I tried to seek creative ways to connect our freshmen to our CTX culture during a very unusual year. This being the first year, we decided to give 2 awards. These 2 students are truly outstanding individuals. Their commitment to their fellow students here at Concordia is led with a servant's heart, and both are very passionate about building up the next group of student leaders. They've continued past their term as peer leaders to help influence the future of the freshman seminar series, our tradition teams, and ultimately the culture of our campus. I'm very proud to award this year's Peer Leader of the Year award to Isa Castillo and Victoria Leffers. Congratulations to you both. You are very dear to me, and you are leaving a deep impact on our campus with all that you do.
Thank you, Dr. Burgess, and congratulations to both of you. Our next award is the Emerging Leadership Award, and to present that award is the Reverend Dr. Gerard Bowling, Assistant Professor of Leadership.
Good evening, everybody. I am really pleased to announce our winners of this award this year. We have many, many students that we see throughout the leadership series. In fact, all of the students that we see throughout the leadership series. And so there are just so many to choose from. But these 2 students, I'm very proud to announce as the very first recipients of the Emerging Leader Award. This is an award that demonstrates a commitment to leadership, not only in their academics, but also in their individual communities and their places and their spaces that these students reside in and then also call home. I'm excited to announce 2 recipients. The first would be Michael Hansen. And I just have to say so much about Michael Hansen. One thing is that he's been putting up with me since 2019 as a professor, and I've had him continually semester after semester in different courses that he's chosen to take with me. And Michael Hansen simply reminds me of a student who knew that he was a leader, but was willing to learn as he led and was willing to follow as he led as well. A quote that Michael really reminds me of is that leaders don't only just know the way, they show the way, and then they also go the way. A quote by Maxwell, a brilliant writer. Michael is a student that is getting his second act, he would say, in school, and has gone to many different schools and has found Concordia and called Concordia home. He's had a wildly successful career in his own right, but he continues to strive to learn and to grow and to serve the community around him in meaningful ways. And to that, I say congratulations to him, and I'll let him speak in a moment. But then also I'd like to recognize our second winner, Elise Guillory, she wrote in her very first discussion post, Elise, right? That's how you say it. And I'd like to recognize her tonight. I'd like to recognize her with the quote in mind by Lily Tomlin, very famous theater person. The road to success is always under construction, Lily says. And this so describes Elise because she has a perseverance that I've not seen in many students. And I'm so excited that she just keeps going and going and going no matter what life throws at her. This last semester, there were so many challenges, and she faced personal challenges and then also challenges throughout, but she made sure to get all of her classwork done. She's a leader on campus in major different ways. And then also she's a leader on the discussion boards and a leader in class at every single turn. Elise has so much promise in her future and with her career. She'd like to be a behavioral analyst for kids that are on the spectrum. She's going to do awesome at that job. But Elise could quite literally do any job she wanted to do with excellence. And I truly believe that. Lastly, to just sum them both up, I go from the quote by Ash: success is not a journey, it's a destination, and the doing is more important than the outcome, right? Elise and Michael together have an excellent future ahead of them, and they've already arrived. And I just hope that they enjoy the rest of this journey after they leave us. Congratulations to you both. If you'd like to remark, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bowling. All right, our next award is Student Service Award for Christian Leadership and Service. And I will be presenting these awards. We have two winners this evening. The first is Isa Castillo, and the second is Mackenzie Vance. So congratulations for earning that award. We will now move into the second part of our awards, and that is Scholarship Award winners. The first scholarship award is the Glotterman Christian Leadership Scholarship, and Justice Hyde has earned that scholarship for next year. So congratulations, Justice. And the next scholarship is the Dr. Keith Lumens Scholarship Award, and Abigail Brandenberger is the winner of that scholarship. So again, congratulations for your work there. The next presenter for the next scholarship that we have is Dr. Ann Schwartz.
Thank you. The Dr. John Youngman and Mrs. Jackie Youngman Scholarship for the Behavioral Sciences honors the life and ministry of Dr. Youngman, who served at Concordia from 1981 through 2002 as a professor of psychology, chair of the Behavioral Sciences Division, and dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. To continue his witness here at Concordia, we established an endowment for a scholarship in his name, which annually recognizes a student who exemplifies Dr. Youngman's commitment to the study of behavioral sciences, as well as his academic excellence, outstanding character, and service to community. Dr. Youngman was my mentor when I first came to Concordia. So this is a very special award for me to always present. And I can say with certainty that he would have really enjoyed having this year's recipient in his classes, as I always do. And like me, I think he would have been impressed by this person's caring spirit and her engagement in service in both the Austin community and within our campus community, serving with stewardship service opportunities and the former Self 30 program on campus and many other programs, and also joining Leaders with Impact. As behavioral sciences faculty have noted, I think he would have also praised her continual demonstration of academic excellence as she has pursued her behavioral sciences degree. Conscientious, she always pushes herself to meet her own high standards, and she never gives up. Typically, this scholarship is an award of $1,000, and the recipient hasn't heard this, but I'm happy to announce that the Youngman family have decided to this year generously give an award of $2,000. So congratulations to Keith Lee Layden, this year's winner.
Thank you so much. Our next scholarship is the Shervin Leadership Scholarship for Education, and Dr. Hannah Meineke is here to present that scholarship tonight.
Thanks, Casey. I could speak for an hour on the merit of all teachers and future teachers, particularly in the face of the challenges of COVID. But instead, I'll speak for a couple minutes. The recipient of this year's partial Shervin Award has a heart for ministry, math, and service. Those who recommended Summer Schmidt used some of the following quotes to describe her. Her joy and compassion for others pour out from her, just as the grace that she's received from her Father in heaven. Summer is one to put her all into whatever task she is presented with, adapting to every situation with ease. Her ability to point back enthusiastically to Christ has been noticeable and inspiring. Summer was exceptional in her work with children, liked by her peers, and was respectful and worked well with adult leaders. Those are from those who recommended her, and personally, I have come to know Summer as one who balances a lot with grace and dignity. Summer demonstrates great humility for all she has accomplished. Her love for teaching and students led a Lutheran school to decide to hire Summer even before she started student teaching, showing just the value of Summer's assets. But most of all, Summer loves the Lord. So, ladies and gentlemen, the recipient of this year's partial Shervin scholarship, which covers all student costs for half of a semester, or half of a school year, a full semester, is Summer Schmidt. And if it's okay with you, Casey, I will move right into the recipient of the full Shervin scholarship. The recipient of the full Shervin Award is a dedicated, service-hearted future elementary Lutheran teacher. Among being extremely involved at Concordia, this year's recipient is an academically gifted student as well. Those who recommended Abigail for this award use the following quotes to describe her. Abigail is a student who loves God and wants to serve him through her ministry as a Lutheran teacher. She is motivated and wants to take responsibility for her learning and success. Her work is of the highest quality and her presentations are always well prepared and engaging. She's an outstanding role model and an example of Christ's love. She's a blessing to her classmates and to me. Personally, I know Abigail as being an active in several organizations, including Education Club, which provides many services to our community. She's always willing to help others and is an encouraging presence in all of our education classes. I've come to rely very heavily on Abigail as a dependable, capable president of Education Club, for which I am an advisor. She has a quiet demeanor, but offers logical counsel and leadership for all. I look forward to the future for Abigail, both as a teacher and as a leader in her church and community. Ladies and gentlemen, the recipient of this year's full Shervin scholarship, Abigail Lieb.
Thank you, Dr. Meineke, and congratulations to both of you. The recipient of the Norman W. Holmes Business Merit Scholarship was unable to join us this evening, but we do want to recognize Megan Podlesny Lance. Our next two awards are oral communication, and so I would like to invite Dr. Eric Green to return to the stage.
Well, y'all as students listen to us as professors a lot. And one of the good things about Concordia is we create spaces for students to be able to share their ideas. One of those things is Persuasion Contagion that happens every semester, and we encourage our students to practice their voice, exercise their voice, and ultimately advocate with their voice. So this is an event put on by students for students. And we have a preliminary round of students that we communication professors evaluate. And then we take the top 5 and we give them to a panel of 3 expert judges in the community that rank those speakers. And so from last spring 2020, our winner is Erin Lovato. And she, let's clap for her. I love that when she won the award, she sent me an email and she's like, Dr. Green, I won. I'm like, I know you won, good job. And then that just shows her humility in her ability to communicate so effectively. And then for this past fall, our winner is Stephanie Sines, who had such an incredible, engaging talk, like a TED Talk, that the rest of her peers really found exceptional, and then experts in the community found exceptional as well. So 2 scholarships for them moving forward into the next academic year.
Congratulations to both of you all, and thank you, Dr. Green. I got a little ahead of myself, which is doubly embarrassing because the next award is the Alfred E. Leja Prize, and I actually was one of the first winners of this scholarship many, many years ago. So I apologize for skipping this one. And I would like to ask my good friend, Dr. Gregory Coleman, Assistant Professor of English, to present this award.
Good evening. Dr. Alfred E. Leja served as a member of Concordia's English faculty for many years on the historic campus. I never had the pleasure of meeting him, but the lasting influence of his legacy cannot be overstated. Dr. Leja bestowed an endowment upon the university that enables us each year to honor the graduating senior who has shown the highest level of achievement in English. Currently, 3 instructors in our department are Concordia graduates and previous recipients of the Leja Award. To this year's recipient, welcome to the club. I hope this award creates possibilities for you, just as it did for your predecessors. The young woman who is receiving the Leja Award this year exemplifies everything this award was created to promote. She is diligent and conscientious. Her writing is a joy to read. She composes powerful research-based arguments and skillfully develops her own original and insightful interpretations of literature. More than this, she is a passionate advocate for others. For instance, in my Writing for Publication course, she produced an ArcGIS story map that could serve as an advisory tool for colleges and universities seeking to create a more inclusive culture for neurodiverse students. This year's recipient will be attending graduate school at UT in special education, pursuing advanced study in autism and developmental disabilities. Her ultimate goal is to create and run a sustainable and affordable community for disabled adults to live, work, and socialize. It is my sincere honor to present to you this year's recipient of the Alfred E. Leja Award for Outstanding Achievement in English, Sabina Kandi. Let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you so much, Dr. Coleman, and congratulations, Sabina. If I'm reading my program correctly, we are at the last scholarship award winner. If I skip it, someone will text me, I'm sure. Our final two recipients were unable to join us this evening, but the recipients for the undergraduate Shervin Leadership Scholarship in Business is Caitlin Stevens, and the graduate recipient of this award is Itzel Gutierrez. So I want to thank all of you all for attending this evening, say congratulations again. And I just want to say in closing that your resume, your transcripts will tell a story about your time here at Concordia, but it will only tell part of the story. And I'm going to steal a page from Dr. Green, who shared this with me a couple months ago that he's been sharing with students. When you go into a job interview, yes, the awards are important, the credentials are important, the degree is important, but please do not forget to tell employers what you have accomplished, especially this past year and a half. You understand how to pivot, you understand how to be flexible, you understand how to work and learn in new ways, you learn how to receive grace and extend grace, and we all thank you for that. So don't forget to tell that part of your wonderful story. So finally, we're going to ask Dr. Meineke to come back and close us in prayer.
Thank you. Let's all pray together. Dear gracious Father in heaven, as we close out this evening, we are in awe of you, your discernment and creativity of the gifts that you give us, your children. We are in awe of the ways in which you have blessed Concordia University, Texas, through the service and gifts of our students. We are in awe of the generosity of the donors for scholarships and those who wrote the letters of recommendation, those who put together this program, virtual yet special, and we thank you. We thank you for not only the inspiration from the physical beauty of Concordia, Texas, and it is quite beautiful, but inspiration from human beauty and diversity of gifts and talents that make up our community. Each day, we're able to come together virtually or physically in all the spaces that make up Concordia University, Texas, and identify truth, beauty, and goodness that you have bestowed upon us, and tonight is no exception. As we look toward the end of the semester and summer, we pray a prayer of gratitude for this talented, hardworking community. May you continue to collectively bless Concordia through all the abilities of the individuals and the common faith in Jesus that connects us all. Amen.
Thank you. Congratulations to everyone once again, and enjoy your evening.